For many in the anti-Israel crowd, there is no difference between war and murder, not because they are ignorant of the difference, but because they think making the two indistinguishable works to their tactical advantage. Murder is a terrible crime. Mass murder is a crime against humanity. War is tragic, but it is not murder. War in and of itself is tragic, but sometimes the only way to stop murder, crimes against humanity, and genocide is for there to be war. War is what stopped ISIS genocidal murderers. The civilian casualties from destroying ISIS far exceeded the unfortunate civilian casualties of war in Gaza. The civilian casualties from the wars in Yemen, Syria, Somalia, Sudan, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Myanmar, just to name a few places, already exceeds the millions. There are no protests, no outcries. No one cares, because without the Jew to demonize and blame, human life has no value to millions of people that protest for Palestine only because Jews are involved. If there was no Israel, and if Arabs were being killed in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, as they were or still are in Iraq, Libya, Syria, Yemen, and more, there would be the same complete silence. If it was almost any other country in the world other than Israel that Hamas attacked, the casualties in Gaza would already be in the hundreds of thousands or over a million. Many countries would have simply carpet-bombed Gaza. Hamas, Islamic Jihad, and others from Gaza deliberately attacked civilians of all ages and murdered and wounded thousands inside of Israel. If in a war, one side deliberately attacks and kills and murders the civilians on the enemy side, that is not war, that is murder. When one side uses civilian buildings and civilians on their side as human shields from which to wage war, the rules of war allow for there to be a response, even though the civilians being used as human shields will be killed or wounded. There is a difference between the deliberate killing of civilians, which is murder, and the unfortunate casualties of war. Conflating murder with war and singling out only Israel in a world full of wars after civilians in Israel by the thousands were deliberately attacked, wounded, kidnapped, sexually abused, raped, mutilated, and murdered speaks volumes about what these protests are really about. Hamas wants murder. They want civilian casualties in Gaza and elsewhere, and they want war. The Hamas supporters complaining about civilian casualties are instead giving Hamas green lights to continue doing what they do best: murdering civilians, getting civilians killed, starting wars.